Breaking news, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has announced their decision on the temporary hold of the Muslim travel ban. The block continues. The ban is not in effect, and that will continue for the foreseeable future. Now, we're going to have more details on tomorrow's shows about the different arguments that the three judges on the Ninth Circuit used, but we do know that they were critical of the argument from the government that this was necessary to protect against acts of terror. They said that the evidence hasn't been presented, and we already have, and we love to hear this, we already have vetting processes for these people. And so that is one of the reasons that they've decided to continue the stop of Donald Trump's Muslim travel ban.
Yeah, it's good news. And again, it shows that even though things seem dire for liberals and progressives in the country, we do still have some level of checks and balances in this country. And that you know, makes people like me sigh in relief. But we'll see how this goes down, because this is temporary. I mean, there is a possibility.
It can be appealed.
Not only can it be appealed, it is likely to go to the Supreme Court. So that kind of shows you that there's a lot more at stake if, Neil Gorsuch does get confirmed as the new Supreme Court justice who will replace Antonin Scalia. I don't know how he would rule in a situation like this, but it's something to consider in a bigger context.
Yeah, and as it stands right now, you don't have a ninth justice on the court because it was stolen from President Obama. And I don't know how all of the current 8 Supreme Court justices would rule. It's possible that they would defer to the president on this issue and allow the travel ban to go into effect. Or theoretically, Trump could wait, the few weeks or months that it might take for Gorsuch to get on the court, or whoever ends up there, who almost certainly would side with Donald Trump. So right now, this is good news. The Ninth Circuit doing the right thing here, widely considered to be the most liberal circuit court. Very important. I'm going to end with a little bit of pessimism, though, is that this is another indication that while we focus on the Supreme Court, the appeals courts and federal judges are also incredibly important. And they're also often forgotten during elections because the person who chooses all of those is the president. And so the Ninth Circuit did the right thing here. But Gorsuch isn't the only judge that Trump is going to be choosing. He's going to be choosing people to end up on those appeal courts throughout the country, federal judges, dozens, possibly hundreds over the courses of his terms.
So I want to comment on that very quickly because of this appeals court, the Ninth Circuit Appeals Court. 2 of the judges were nominated by Democrats, and I believe one of them by President Obama, the other by Carter, and then one was...
How's that guy around?
Yeah, one was nominated by George Bush.
Was it W?
I believe
it might have
so.
Been W.
Yes, George W. Bush. So it's interesting to see ideology play out, though, because I do think that regardless of how unbiased judges attempt to be in these types of rulings, the one judge, Judge Richard Clifton, a George W. Bush nominee, was the one that was the most skeptical of those criticizing Trump's executive order as something that attacks a certain religious group.
Yeah.
Right? So,
weird how that works out.
Yeah.
But anyway, good news. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks and months. But as of right now, unless something crazy happens, the ban has been stopped. And so the initial people who filed the lawsuits, great job there. And we'll never know how big of an effect the nationwide protests had. We know that a lot of people were making calls, and that might have had an effect as well. So good job to America.
Fix the media. Be the media. Come join us. tytnetwork.com/join.